Termites! Welcome to the pub. It's episode 40. The exact amount of days Moses was lost. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
What, paddles?
Hard.
Not hard. If you were a better Catholic, that would just roll off your brain like nothing.
True.
I'm not even sure I'm right. I think it was 40 days and 40 nights. I don't know. If it's not involved in the Stations of the Cross, I can't be 100% sure. If it's involved in the Stations of the Cross, which I had to do every Wednesday and Friday in grade school, then yes, I can guarantee you I'm right. But yeah, I think he was lost for 40 days.
40 days, 40 nights. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It wasn't like 38. They rounded it off.
Probably.
To a nice number.
God.
Termites, what do we drink? A little, what is this called? Creature Comforts. A little pale ale from where? Athens, Georgia. Isn't that exciting? Shout out to those guys. I don't know the brewing company.
Creature Comforts.
Oh, Creature Comforts is they are the brewing company. I thought it was called, no, it's called Automatics, the name. Pale ale, Creature Comforts, yeah.
Wow.
Well, good for them. It's a cool can, too. I like it. It's throwback colors, like a green kind of and blue and not pink, salmon. See? Who watches House Hunters? This lady. I'd like a salmon-colored something. Oh, my God. So that's what we're drinking, Termites, week 40. You may notice a new addition to my desk. I'm not going to keep this here all the time. But I was moving shit around, and I had to do a video for the Carolina Theater because they're reopening, and it's one of my favorite places, just in general. It's just anything in the Carolinas, but the Durham Bull. It's the Durham Bull. Remember the movies and stuff? And when you sell at a show, they give you a trophy, and I was really excited. Like, I don't need a trophy in my house, but it's even as an adult to get a trophy for accomplishing something, it's not easy to sell out shows. It doesn't just happen. You have to do all kinds of work. And then they give it, and then I got home and see its little horns. They were broken in my carry-on, and I was like, oh man, and the tail was broken too. And it's not cheap. I mean, it's heavy.
It's a weapon.
It could be a weapon. I'm shocked TSA let me through. I thought for sure they were going to go, lady, the bull ain't going with you. And they let it go, but everything was broken. His horns, his ears, and his tail. And I called them, and they sent me a new one, no problem. So anyway, shout out. And I'm very excited because they're getting to reopen, and they're excited. And I got booked back. I think it's in 2022 for reals, like 2021's already gone for the most part, booked. But I'm excited that they're back on the schedule. And what does that mean? I get to go have what? North Carolina barbecue.
Boom!
Which is my favorite.
Mine too.
And I shouldn't say that being from St. Louis, especially with Kansas City being in my state, and our barbecue is pretty famous. St. Louis ribs are on tons of menus globally. But I'm a vinegar freak, and the North Carolina barbecue sauce, as a Midwesterner, I went there one time and I didn't see, it's invisible kind of. And I went up and said, I didn't get any barbecue sauce on this sandwich, can I get some? And the lady's like, oh, sweetheart, it's down there. I go, I don't see it. She's like, just trust. And I did. I just walked away like I walked away like a kid in school that just got reprimanded by the teacher, and she was 100% right. It was on there, and it is kind of invisible. It's vinegar-based, and it's just, I don't know, it's my favorite. And then after that, I would vote for St. Louis barbecue. Well, yeah, I'd vote for St. Louis, then Kansas City, then Memphis. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah.
Too sweet for me. I don't like the sweetness of that, but I mean, I like it. I don't say I won't go with you, especially if you're buying. I'm totally going for any kind of barbecue, but that's my ranking. So, well, let's do a little Queen news. Sad news, Termites.
What?
Well, it's not about anyone in my Queen Hive, but Olympia Dukakis died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And one time in Florida, in an airport, not in some swanky secret club, just in a like a bar restaurant thing. I put all my shit down, and I remember I had a lot of too much stuff that I don't know why. Somebody gave me some or something. And I put my shit down. It was hard to organize, and I put it in a bar stool, and I sat in the bar stool, and then I looked up, and the woman sitting next to me was Olympia Dukakis.
Oh, wow.
I know. I didn't have the guts to say anything. I said nothing. She had the New York Times. She must have gotten it in the airport thing, and she was just, what am I going to say? You were really great in Steel Magnolias. I mean, how many times has she heard that? And I'm not even knowledgeable enough to quote other movies, or, I mean, I think she probably did Broadway stuff. Like Lewis would know. Lewis would say, here's what you should say if you're going to say anything, Kathleen. And then he'd tell me the smart thing to say. Yeah. I'm like a hack. Like, I just shut up. But it was super cool, because I always thought, you never heard about Olympia Dukakis doing crazy or stupid shit. She was never in the Inquirer. She was just an actor who did her gig and had the same husband for 100 years, apparently. So Queen Dolly tweeted out, because they were in Steel Magnolias together, and she tweeted out something very nice. And then Cher did too, because Cher knew her from Moonstruck. She's a mom. Right. Stevie doesn't know her, so she wasn't responsible for tweeting, and I don't think these two do either. But anyway, that was just
I'm sure Shaka likes her.
Shaka probably likes her, yeah. Well, what's not to like about Olympia Dukakis? Even her southern accent was pretty good, I must say. It wasn't 100%. There were times when I was like, oh, you're slipping in and out. But, well, no, hers was great. I take that back. It was Shirley MacLaine's that was slipping in and out sometimes. Shirley MacLaine as Wheezy or Weezer. Yeah. Shirley MacLaine's, I thought, tricky, because there's so many types of Southern accents, and people don't. You want to hear the worst Southern accent ever? Louis Black's. Oh, yeah. He's so bad. Like as a kid, my parents would tell me, "Oh, do this person or do this person," because they thought it was funny and I could do it. It's just I can mimic most things, not all, but a lot. I was a good mimic as a kid, and I didn't think that was a talent. I thought everybody could do that. My dad, the worst. I mean, even if you just do, he can't. Even German, he can't even do German. All he does is watch World War II movies. But Louis, whenever I tell him, Lou, do your best hillbilly accent, or Southern accent, or redneck, he'll just go, well, Kathleen, I don't know about you. It all sounds like a banjo. I'm like, Louis, don't ever do that again out loud in public. But anyway, so that's the update on those guys. And what do we have for you guys to taste? Well, I'm not going to taste these, but I went ahead and spent the money. I'll give it to my sister. But I spent the money just for you guys, because I think you should know, if you have children, that this is out there. Captain Crunch's Berry-tastic pancake mix.
Oh my God, that's probably delicious.
It's probably super delicious. I'm not going to way too many calories. I'd rather save them for alcohol. But if I was a child and I was not drinking alcohol,
you're in.
Holy shit. And they have a blue syrup. Yeah. Ocean blue, artificially maple flavored syrup. Oh. I didn't see that.
Nasty.
So if you have kids, come on, how fun is that? Captain Crunch pancakes? I would be all about that. Well, I still would now, quite frankly, but then I got these Ritz Crisp and Thins Tabasco pepper flavored chips. Okay, so they're thin, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna eat another one just to make sure I already ate one. Oh my God.
Wow, that's quite the face.
Well, I think I'm gonna sneeze too. I really like. Excuse me. Oh my God, I like Tabasco sauce on almost anything. It's the pepper part. But these don't taste really like Tabasco. They just taste hot. I would not recommend these. So, not everything on this show's a winner. That's why we have them. And I'll just throw that out. Or actually, I'll probably give it to the birds. Watch them freak out.
The blackbirds.
Speaking of which, the blackbirds that are killing my cardinals. And then I read all the stuff, how to get rid of blackbirds. Everybody, basically, you got to do turn them and burn them and starve them out. But I mean, how long? They keep coming back. I left that bird feeder empty for like 3 weeks. And I thought, no, and the poor cardinals are like, what happened to the 4 seasons? You had a buffet every day. What happened? I'm like, I know, guys, but, you're too passive. You let those goddamn blackbirds go right in there. The cardinals don't do shit. They just stand on a branch and watch. They're terrified of them. And it didn't work. So if anybody has any, don't get too technical. If you have any ideas to get rid of blackbirds, tell me. But I'm not going to build anything. Okay? Let's just get that straight. Well, because people are like, okay, here's what you got to do. I asked how to get rid of geese. This one guy, so crazy. He's like, he had a homemade remedy for this where I'm supposed to have chicken wire just on hand. Oh, chicken wire? Yeah, it's right out in the garage next to the pool noodles that I'm going to move out. I don't have any. Why the fuck would I have chicken wire? But he had this whole thing
I'm gonna get you some.
to fix geese, and then you take these steaks from Lowe's, like little green steaks, and I'm not gonna do all that. Just if you have any fun ideas. I even went and got the white bird seed because people said blackbirds hate that. No, they don't. Not mine. They don't give a shit what color that food is. They hate all of it. Anyway,
Nice.
Boring subject, but moving on.
Did you go to Dolly's garage sale?
I did not go to Dolly's garage sale, although I really would have liked to have gotten a goat wagon. I just didn't have the time to drive down to Sevierville. What am I holding here right now? Hidden Valley Ranch blasted dipping sauce. Bold buffalo.
Oh, nice.
By the way, the mother of the teenagers that started Tiffany Ranch, she was, I saw her this weekend, and the kids think they're happy that I've made fun of them, because I thought, am I going to get in trouble?
Now.
Yeah. As soon as there's a tour poster and a t-shirt, they'll be the first ones to get them, and that's the prize you get, and then they can have tickets to any show they want. So there you go. That's your prize for me making fun of you. Bold buffalo dipping sauce ranch. It's great.
How can it not be?
They don't make a bad
Basically a
product.
chicken wing.
Well, I didn't like that one they made, but for the most part, I really like it. Well done, Buffalo Hidden Valley Ranch, Bold Buffalo. Speaking of food, hold on.
Is that food? It is in your land.
Speaking of more things that could be considered food or questionable, Orlando, Florida, home of who? World famous Carrot Top. And he's always there.
I love him.
His real name's Scott. That's not like a secret. His name is Scott Thompson. So I tend to call him Scott. But then I tend to call him Carrot Top if it's about people who don't know his name, Scott. We'll just call him Carrot Top for this sake of this, so I don't.
Scooter.
He has a permanent show at the Luxor in Las Vegas. His show is always current. A lot of comedians, I think we've talked about this on this podcast. It's the old, well, he's a prop comic. Yeah, well, you know what? You give me $5,000, I can't go to Walmart and make that act. He's creative. It's just in a different way. He thinks visually. I think about words. He thinks about pictures. Like, I've always thought he was extremely funny. It's one of my favorite shows to go to. Even my sister and all of her mid-Missouri friends, she's like, what's the best show in Vegas? I said, I think Carrot Top, and I'm not kidding. Or George Wallace if he's there. But Carrot Top's more of a party in a box. George is more of a good time word guy. Like, he's funny. Mm-hmm. He's really funny on Twitter if you follow George Wallace. And no, I don't mean the old white dead man from Alabama. I mean the alive black man from Georgia.
That other guy's a bit much.
He 100 years ago, George went on the Tonight Show. I was not paying attention to comedy at the time. I was probably still in high school. But one of his great jokes ever, where he goes, I just read that the average black man lives to the age of 63. Now, can somebody please tell me why I'm paying into Social Security? It's a great joke. It's true. It's funny. And nobody had ever said it. Anyway, Orlando, getting back to that. And I think it's crazy because Carrot Top hosts all these Instagram videos. I'm gonna have to actually talk to him about this one time. He always comes to my show in Las Vegas, and I always go to his. And then sometimes I steal his opening act, Rob, who's great. But I won't do that without permission. I don't think you should poach other people's opening acts. It's kind of a dick move. Hey Rob, you working on blah, blah? How about running on down to the garage? But he swims in those lakes. He has a boat, and he's out in those lakes in Orlando. And then he'll show me pictures sometimes of alligators. Like, are you guys in Orlando swimming with alligators? I mean, technically in Missouri, I am swimming with poisonous snakes, but I know for a fact they stay on land. They stay in the coves in the back. Like, I'm not going in the back of a cove. Like, they're not out in the main channel. Are you guys doing that in Orlando?
God.
I don't think I could do that. But I'm sure people would say I can't jump in a lake where there's probably a cottonmouth. But I do, because I know they're not going to come out that far. Anyway, here's what's great. Orlando, this is for you. You just got your first White Castle restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
I use the word restaurant loosely.
Delicious.
People, when I started as a comedian and I started going to the South, they're like, we got Crystal. Keep it. That's what you can do with your Crystal. Wow. The buns aren't hot. There's no onions. It's White Castle dominates over Crystal. Crystal is an okay excuse if I am stuck in a state with no White Castle. But White Castle's the king. And I'd like to congratulate Orlando on getting one. Also, one of my favorite visuals, and I don't even remember what the occasion was. I don't know. But my younger sister and her friends might have been high school graduation, or I don't know. They're around that age, teens, early 20s. Somebody had rented a limo for somebody something, I don't know. But all I know is I saw two drunk girls fall out of the limo. They were dressed up like in heels, and they had these fancy outfits on, but they had White Castle will sell you a briefcase full of White Castles, and it has a handle.
It's a crave case.
A crave case, if you will. And they got out of the limo going, hey, that guy! And then face planted. And I thought, now would be a really good time for me to steal their crave case and just go catch me if you can. You can't. You're drunk. You have heels on. You sunk in mud. You face planted. I'm just running off with your crave case. But just to watch drunk girls get out of a limo going, right in the face. Okay. This is an update, and this is so cool because I did not know. Okay, last week when I told you guys about they're going to go hunting for all that Nazi loot, and they kept talking about the Amber Room, and I said I'd never heard of it, I have to Google it. Well, I did Google it. This is crazy. This is crazy that this could still exist somewhere. I tend to think it probably isn't around anymore, but they're thinking this might be part of that thing. They might be able to find it. In other words, the Amber Room is a priceless piece of art with extraordinary architectural features such as gilding carvings, amber panels, gold leaf, gemstones, and mirrors, all highlighted with candlelight. Additional architectural and design features include statues of angels and children. Because of its unique features and singular beauty, the original Amber Room was sometimes dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. Modern estimates of the room's value range from $142 million to over $500 million. That was in 2016, so go even higher right now. Speaking of which, by the way, hold on, interruption. Bill Maher went on some anti-crypto rant, and halfway through the rant, he was like, yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Well, you know what you should do? Then quit talking. Just want to let you go. I told you guys I was going to throw a little money at the Dogecoin, right? Also known as Dogecoin. Yeah. I call it Dogecoin. I've made $363.43 on the Dogecoin.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow.
It went from 31 cents to it's now at 42. And Bitcoin is up, and so is Ethereum. And you know what he was saying is, it doesn't represent anything. It's not anything. It's just stupid. Okay, well, always be mindful of your age when you talk.
Right.
I am. I know exactly what position this is coming from. He just sounded like an old guy who didn't understand something, so therefore he hated it. When I talk about it, am I saying it's real? It's as real as if I cashed that out right now. I think it's an agreed upon Ponzi scheme, which is not a tangible thing. It's a pool. It's a pool of money, and you got to time it right. When are you happy? When you doubled your money, tripled your money? Just put in enough that you don't care if you lose it. It's simple gambling. I don't understand why people don't understand this. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is or what it isn't. Do you want to play? It's just that simple.
Right.
It's an agreed upon currency, and everyone has put their money in. Now, let's say Elon Musk took his billion out of, I love to call it Dogecoin. I know it's called Dogecoin, but I'm calling it Dogecoin.
I like it.
It's a Shiba Inu on the coin, and I want the coins. But let's say he took his out. Yeah, it would probably crash and burn. You're relying on the fact that other people are going to keep their money in there, and then it keeps going and going. What does it represent? It represents a series of codes on a computer. Is that a tangible thing? No. No. Ethereum actually has a use to send, if you want to send documents and contracts in the most secure way, Ethereum actually apparently can do that. Bitcoin can't do that. So that Ethereum's getting super popular too, because corporations are like, yeah, let's do that. But just the tirade, the anger in his voice about something, it's just a game. There's no reason to get that pissed.
It's archaic. It's kind of like the Great
The
Depression.
monologue was
Yeah.
just tired, and I know.
Oh.
Mic drop. I said it. It's the same formula. It's the same, and I've been on that show and this and that, but, I don't probably think I'll be on again.
Nope.
That's okay. That's all right, because you know why? I got myself some Dogecoin. All right, anyway. The Amber Room.
Thank you for that.
Yes. The Amber Room, this is great. Paddles will put this in the show notes, but where do you see the pictures of it? Like the fact that this was possibly dismantled and stolen, and maybe underneath that Polish palace, whatever you want to call it, if they could find it. I don't think so, though. I think it got wrecked. But anyway, the Amber Room was begun in 1701 with the purpose of being installed in the Charlottenburg Palace, the residence of Frederick, the first king of Prussia, at the urging of his second wife, Sophia Charlotte. That's some real love it or listed shit. Mm-hmm. When Sophia says to Frederick, you know what I'm gonna need? An Amber Room. And I need it to be worth $140 million. One room.
Bum, bum.
And he did it. The concept and the design of the room was drafted by Andreas Schutler. It was fabricated. We don't need to know all that. But it was constructed in the 8th century in Prussia. Constructed in the 18th century in Prussia, the room was dismantled and eventually disappeared during World War II. Before it's lost, it was considered an eighth wonder of the world. A reconstruction was made starting in 1979, completed and installed in the Catherine Palace in 2003. I mean, I'd like to see the reconstructed one, but just to get an idea, but also,
We can't have everything we want.
it was intended in 1701, we know for this, but eventually it didn't go to the Charlatan Palace. It was installed in Berlin City Palace. It was designed, we know that. It remained in Berlin until 1716, when it was given by the Prussian King Frederick William I to his ally Tsar Peter the Great of Russia, of the Russian Empire. In Russia, the room was installed in the Catherine Palace. After expansion and several renovations, it covered more than 55 square meters, which is 590 square feet, and contained 6 tons, 1,300 pounds of amber. The Amber Room was looted during World War II by the army group north of Nazi Germany and taken to Königsberg for reconstruction and display. Its eventual fate and current whereabouts, if it survives, remain a mystery. The 1979, we don't care about the one they redid. Shortly after the beginning of the German invasion of the Soviet Union in World War II, the curators responsible for moving art treasures in Leningrad tried to dismantle and remove the Amber Room. I mean, who has time for this shit during a war?
Yeah.
It's a war. There's tanks coming.
Confident people.
Yeah.
Confident people.
Well, very confident, very cocky. However, over the years, the amber had dried out and become brittle, making it impossible to move the room without the amber crumbling. The amber room was therefore hidden behind mundane wallpaper in an attempt to keep the German forces from seizing it, but the attempt to hide such a well-known piece of art failed. German soldiers of the Army Group North disassembled the amber room within 36 hours under the supervision of 2 experts. One of them, the top, not one of these 2 necessarily, but their boss, who? Albert Speer. Speer. A book I read in high school, Albert Speer, My Battle with the Truth.
I doubt that.
I read that voluntarily.
There was no battle.
No, he didn't have a battle with the truth. He just lied his ass off and acted like he didn't have anything to do with anything, and he's full of shit.
On board.
He's completely full of shit. On October 1941, the priceless room reached... Oh, wait. So the Germans took it. On October 14th, the priceless room reached Königsberg in East Prussia for storage and display in the town's castle. Why did the Germans take it there? Oh, I guess because that... Okay. On November 41, a Königsberg newspaper announced an exhibition of the Amber Room. The last days. Orders given by Hitler on 21 and 24 January 45 ordered the movement of looted possessions from Königsberg. This allowed Albert Speer, Reich Minister of Armaments. That's my sergeant. That's my Schultz from Hogan's Heroes.
It's good.
You're the Reichsminister of Armaments. And his administration team to transport cultural goods of priority. However, before the Amber Room could be roomed, Erich Koch, who was in charge of civil administration during the final months of the war, abandoned his post and fled from the city, leaving General Otto Lasch in command. After the war, the Amber Room was never seen in public again. Reports have occasionally surfaced stating that pieces of the Amber Room survived the war. Several witnesses claim to have spotted the famous room being loaded on board the Wilhelm Gustloff, which left Geneva on January 30th, 1945. It was promptly torpedoed and sunk by a Soviet submarine. Somebody knows. They're probably dead, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. In 1997, an Italian stone mosaic that was part of the set of 4 stones which had decorated the Amber Room was found in Germany in the possession of the family of a soldier who claimed to have helped back up the Amber Chamber. The mosaic came into the hands of the Russian authorities and was used in the reconstruction. So they took those pieces, okay. In 1998, 2 separate teams, one German and one Lithuanian, announced they had located the Amber Room. The German team pointed to a silver mine, while the Lithuanian team believed the amber treasure was buried in a lagoon. Neither of the 2 locations turned out to hold the Amber Room. See, that's what I'm afraid, if anybody's filming this thing of last week, it's going to be another Geraldo deal, where I'm going to invest 2 hours, and then we're going to get there and womp womp. In 2004, a lengthy investigation by British investigative journalist so-and-so and so-and-so concluded that the Amber Room was most likely destroyed when Königsberg Castle was damaged during the first bombing of Königsberg by the Royal Air Force in 1944, and then by the Soviets burning the castle following the shelling of the remaining walls. It goes on. There's like a million theories but basically it's missing. Is it still in existence? I say probably not. I wish it was, but I think the war, there was too much aerial bombing, and they didn't even know what they were hitting.
And too many people knew about it.
Yeah, but at this point, if somebody had like a whole panel of the Amber Room, I think they'd sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it as an NFT. Whoa, how hip is this show? Come on! How hip is this show? Speaking of which, update! How many of you are interested in the flying cars I've been talking about?
Yeah.
Don't sigh, Paddles.
I'm totally excited.
So, you want one? You can pre-order one. You can pre-order a 2026 Aska, A-S-K-A, for $5,000. Now, this sounds a little like the Lady in the Dale to me.
Yeah. You're going to get one?
And yeah, you're going to give somebody $5,000?
Do they take Dogecoin.
for a car. Yeah, maybe they'll take my Dogecoin. Do you believe in the Shiba Inu? God. I'll play with the children. No problem. I like a game. It's a game. You want to play or not? It doesn't cost anything. You can play for $50. You can play for $25. Dogecoin's only 41 cents.
Yeah. I want to be there.
If you're a believer in flying cars, you can now put a $5,000 deposit to get one called the Aska that's scheduled to land in 2026. Remember the lady in the Dale, how we kept telling people the car was on the way?
Right. There's a tire.
Like, this has got to be piss away money. You just can't care.
No.
That's why it's fun. And then if the Aska, let's say you want a flying car, I don't really want one. I can barely drive my real car.
Come on, you want one.
No, I don't. I don't want to. Well, maybe to ride in it. No, it depends. If my friend Drew, who was a pilot, he's a financial advisor, but he got his pilot license. I think it's really awesome. Like, he's like 62. He did it and went for fun. I'm like, that gives me. See, I can still do shit at this age. Look at Drew. He's out there being a pilot. Well, I'm never going to be able. No, Drew can understand like science and math and all that. I can't do that. As soon as they said, based on this and this needle and the height and the wind, how much gas are you going to need? Fill it up. I don't know. I just keep saying fill it up. If you're a believer, you could have a Silicon-based Valley startup called, it's actually ironically called NFT. It's not an NFT. That just happened to be the name of the company before the NFTs became a separate thing.
Wow.
Earlier this month, opened a showroom to tout the aircraft and accept refundable deposits to join its founders club. Go watch Lady in the Dale, people.
Right.
If that $5,000 matters to you, I would suggest you do not do this. If you don't care, my $200 in Dogecoin, maybe it was a little bit more, maybe $500.
$500 in Dogecoin?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not spending any money. I'm not going on the road. I'm not making any money.
You spent a lot of money on ranch.
Well, I've spent a lot of money on ranch and things for this Pubcast to entertain people because this show's free. I don't know how. If anybody else bitches about this microphone, what you don't seem to realize is this is a free production.
Which is why the quality is so questionable.
The quality is excellent. Each one of these ladies cost me $35. Come on, bitches. That was free. I earned that. I already had Fredbird free. Bought it.
And you washed your shirt.
Yeah. And I bought this desk. I didn't own this desk. Why would I have this? I don't do anything seriously. I don't have a desk. Anyway, it's an unusual design, this flying car, and Paddles will put it in the show notes. You can look at a picture of it. Maybe you want one. Here's what it does. It can drive on conventional roads to and from takeoff and landing sites. It has folded wings, 150 miles an hour top speed, 250-mile range, 6 propellers powered by 6 batteries, and dual gas motors to keep those batteries charged. The name is Japanese for flying bird. But at the size of a large SUV, if it fits 4 passengers and has a 50-foot wingspan, you won't be mistaking the Aska for any actual birds. No, flying birds. That $5,000 is held in an escrow account and fully refundable. By the way, gets you 1 share of the company's stock, admittance to status update meetings every 3 to 6 months. Who would want to be admitted to a serious meeting?
A lady with a desk.
A lady with a desk, yeah, but this is fake. I mean, it's real. It's real.
Plywood.
Yeah. It's not really that. It looks good, though, except it matches the floor, which is bad. I should have got a different color. And I didn't think this would last, and now we're into 40 weeks. Maybe I need a new desk. Anyway, I don't want to go to a goddamn meeting.
No.
I would like this better if it said you never have to attend a meeting. We'll send someone for you. And a place at the head of the line for the plan. There's only going to be 1,500 limited edition models of the Aska, each costing a whopping $789,000.
Wow.
Yep, minus the 5 you put down. So $784,000. NFT is among several companies hoping to shake up transportation with new flight technology. Even though Uber ditched its Elevate plan, plenty of companies are interested in flying cars and flying taxi efforts. These include big names such as General Motors, Boeing, Hyundai, and startups like Lilium, which we have discussed on this show, Kitty Hawk don't know it. Archer, don't know it. Whisk, Horizon Aircraft, and Joby Aviation, which acquired Uber's air taxi program. Spending on air taxis should grow from $14 billion by 2041, analysts from ID Tech predicts. So, there you go. You guys want one? You got $784,000. That's plus your $5,000 you're gonna need for the deposit. $789,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Update! Oh my God, this is so exciting. Britney Spears will address the court on June 23rd. Just when we thought we were done with freeing Britney, right? I thought we were done after that documentary. I thought she'd she's put out an Instagram post saying she doesn't want to be freed. She's a caged bird and likes it. I wouldn't mind being a caged bird, depending on the cage. She's got a really great cage.
I'd love to watch that.
Well, I mean, you know, she's a great place. The Free Britney movement's been going on for years now. All fans want to do is hear from Britney herself and what she really thinks about her conservatorship. Her lawyer's been fighting for her father, Jamie, to be removed completely from control. She said on her Instagram that she's happy and everything is fine. Right. She's an adult. You have to take her word for it.
Right.
Or otherwise, we're now back in the 1700s when women say something and you think they're not telling the truth, you throw them in a psych ward. Right. That's, you know, Mary Todd Lincoln, wackadoodle, throwing you in a psych ward. No matter what she said, they were like, back in the psych ward.
Bye-bye.
So you have to believe it. But is it really her posting on her social media? That's another good question. I don't think it's her father.
Well, no. Yeah, I don't think he'd know.
Well, he's probably my age, but he's not like I have a job where I have to understand all this. He probably doesn't understand. But, you know, he could figure it out. I did.
Or hire someone.
Yeah, he could hire a child to do it. And by a child, I mean a Generation Z. A Zuma! Zuma! But is it her? We don't know. Finally, Britney's lawyer has asked a judge for Britney to address the court directly. They requested for this to happen ASAP, so the date has been set for June 32. We're dying to hear what Britney has to say and what she asked of the judge. Will she say herself that she wants Jamie out? Will she say something completely unexpected? Who knows? It does seem like this is moving in a good direction. Well, won't that make... Now, here's the thing. When I work in Las Vegas, I headline the Mirage, which I love. It's my favorite casino, and it would be my favorite casino even if I didn't work there because of the location and the size. It's a medium-sized casino. It's very, no douchebags, happy people. Everybody looks, you know, it's not like skanky, but it's not fancy. It's just right in the middle of everybody looks normal and fun. And anyway, they opened that Britney Spears show down the street at what used to be, it might still be Planet Hollywood. That casino.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yep.
I think that's where she plays.
Shania Twain's there now.
Shania Twain's there now? Mm-hmm. You make me feel like a woman. Anyway, I thought, because they gave her like a giant run of shows. Like it went on and on and on. And then I thought, so the people that like Britney Spears are going to be like 40 now? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or younger?
No.
I don't
40.
40-ish?
Yep.
And then I thought, are they going to choose that show, considering all the things that are in Vegas? And I'll be damned.
I would go see Britney.
She sold out
Yeah.
again and again. Like as the Booker person, I'd have been on the fence. I'd have to have people convince me. I don't know enough about her. That's one where I'll just take somebody else's word for it because I don't know anything, and I know enough to know when I don't know enough to shut up and let somebody else decide. I just would not. It was shocking. I mean, it was surprising, not shocking, but surprising. Like boom, boom, sold out. Boom, 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 and it's a big room over there she's working in. Update. I'll get back to you guys on when Britney speaks. I'm all over it. You don't have to worry about it. I got it. How many of you have $55 million at hand? Pas moi.
Nope.
Not this lady. If I did, I wouldn't have been having a dream that the boat lift broke and that I didn't get a warranty on it, which I didn't. And then they said it was going to cost me $28,000 to get a new boat lift. That's what I had a dream about last night.
God.
I know. This is so crazy. This is not really an update, but I put it in update because I do a lot of art stuff just because, I don't know, there's just been a lot of art talk, but I like this stuff anyway. And if I had the money, though, I wouldn't do it. Even if I had the money, I don't think I could spend this kind of money. Pablo Picasso's 1932 Femme assise près d'une fenêtre. That's pretty good.
Fenêtre is a window.
Okay, I don't remember that from my high school French. Femme assise près d'une fenêtre. Woman sitting near a window. Good job, panels.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, I've said the rest of it right. I can say that better than I can English.
Yeah, pretty good.
His 1932 painting, Woman Sitting Near a Window, a portrait of his teenage lover and golden muse from a critical point in his career, will be offered in Christie's newly rebranded 20th Century Art Evening Sale in New York on May 11th with an estimated worth an estimated $55 million. 1932 was a make or break for a year for Picasso. He was 50 years old. He was accomplished and famous, blah, blah, blah. But that's where they're going to set the auction price.
Wow.
Wow. That's where they're setting it.
It's a lot of fenetras.
That's a shitload of fenetras. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll update you guys on what somebody pays for it. There's so much money floating around right now that I think it'll go for double.
What?
That's my prediction.
You're kidding.
Nope. I think somebody will. It's so rare these things come up for sale. And this is a famous one. We'll put it in the show notes. You guys may have seen it. Like, it's a common one that you would know. It's not some obscure drawing or some shit. Yeah, I think it'll sell for, I predict, I don't know why the number 82? No, I'm like a carnival psychic.
Wow.
82 million just came into my head.
Okay.
That's what my sixth sense just said, but my real self says over 100.
Wow.
There's your updates. What are we watching? Okay, where my nerds at? Where my nerds at? Where my nerds at? I think Amazon Prime. I gotta look, because I got
is it?
The Donner Party.
Oh, God. So hard. Hard.
Is very.
Hard.
It's not hard if you're a history person
Hard.
or if you're a people person and you want to watch people die slowly. That's the kind of people person this lady is. I think it was Amazon Prime. I saw it. It was originally done for PBS.
Yeah, you know why it's not on Netflix? Because the children would go hard.
Yeah, the children would on Netflix go
It's not Prime.
hard.
Prime.
So the Donner Party, I remember in grade school, I don't know if any of you, maybe this might have been a Catholic school thing, but I remember I would get so excited when I would see the movie projector set up because I thought, fuck yeah, this is going to cancel out science or math. They always can't, because it counted as history or social studies, and I would be like, yes, they're going to show us a movie. And I didn't care how depressing the movie was or serious the movie was. Anything other than science and math was going to be great in my Academy Award winning in this lady's book. And I remember being in all of our movies were brought to you by the Brown Shoe Company. I still don't know what that is, but I would get so fired up. I'm like, yes, it's the Brown Shoe Company saving me. And then the nerds would be like, oh no, because they don't want to watch a Nazi movie or World War II or One or Civil, anything. I'll take any of it. But I remember watching a movie about the Donner Party in grade school, and because they were like, it was always like patriotism, cannibalism, humanism, activism, what do they call explorers, all that shit. And I remember getting home and my dad's like, how was school? I go, awesome. We watched this movie about these pioneer people who ate each other because they ran out of food somewhere about the Sierra Nevada mountains. And then my dad gets more excited. He's like, "Oh, the Donner Party. Let's talk a little bit more." Because he already knew all that shit. But anyway.
You tricked me. You said dinner party. I said okay.
It's Donner Party. So, if you've never heard of the Donner Party, that's fine. It's not necessarily your fault.
You're normal.
You're probably normal and not a freak. But PBS did a great job And you think when you turn this on that this is something you can put on in the background while you're doing other stuff, but then you're going to miss shit. You have to actually watch it because the pictures are real. All of it is so great. So if you're unfamiliar with back in the 1800s, this is before the Civil War, it's like 1840s, there used to be groups of people that would leave the East, but really the real pilgrimage to the California started Independence, Missouri, which is Kansas City. That was your last stop, and now you're gone.
We call these settlers.
Call them what? Settlers, yeah.
Yeah.
Settlers. I would say settlers. Settlers. It's the same way I know I say realtor wrong. I know that's wrong. It's realtor if you read it properly. But I was like, you got a realtor? That's not right. That's a Midwest pronunciation. Anyway, the Donner Party. So this was from Kansas City to get to where you need to be. You're going to have to go over 2,500 miles in a wagon. Now, the Donner Party, they gathered, and there were 85 wagons in this thing, and one asshole had a double-decker wagon with a stove in it. He's your new pain in our ass, and he ends up eating shit along this ride, and I'm sure the other wagon people were secretly going, you and your first-class bullshit wagon. A double-decker wagon? Who knew there were douchebags then? Like, really? We're in wagon times, and you're going to show up with a double-decker wagon and be a douche. It took like 8 oxen to carry the double-decker wagon. Like, anyway. So these people all leave, and the Donner Party was a specific group of like 3 families, and they started in Springfield, Illinois, and the old man was 62 years old. And I thought, at any age, I don't want to go across America in a wagon. And there's Indians shooting at you, arrows at you. Some were laughing at him. They saw him going the wrong way, and the Indians were on top of the hills, and they should have been laughing. Look at these dumb white people thinking they're going to take a shortcut. No, you're not. Yeah, they were just doing, just shooting arrows at him just for folly. Wow. And then some of them helped them. The Indians were so nice. Like, here comes these jackasses invading our territory, and then finally I think the Indians are laughing, shooting arrows to scare them, and then I think one Indian was like, all right, guys, come on. They're so stupid. We have to help them. And they did. The 2 of them lost their own lives trying to help these idiots, but, 62 years old, you want to get in a wagon and go across, and he was fine. They were not rich. The Donner guy and his brother, they had opened like a general store in Springfield, Illinois. Just to get from Springfield, Illinois to Kansas City in a wagon, fuck, I don't even want to go in a car. I'd probably check flights. I mean, it was an ordeal. And there's no goddamn roads. There's no nothing. But that's where I was like, dude, you made a terrible mistake. Like, because you were fine. I understand people that are like, my life sucks here. I have to find a better life. Or if you're young and you're single and you want the adventure, but 62, his wife, they said goodbye to everybody in town, bald for the next day. I would too, because you're never going to see these people again. Nope. It's like, go say goodbye to your sister. Right. Forever? Right. I mean,
can't do it.
No, because she ain't getting in a wagon coming out to California. Or here's your brother, say goodbye. You'll never, Anyway, 1 week into this trip, and believe me, my telling you about it's not going to ruin it if you want to watch it. There were a lot of red flags, and there was still time to turn around. And this is where I always say this is why there ended up being extra amount of people in Kansas City. Because people got halfway through Kansas, I think some of them went, fuck this shit. Or they got to Colorado and they saw the Rockies and went, nope, nope, nope. Because you still have time to turn around then. Right. Depending on how much food you brought. Kansas is flat too. It's no problem to get across Kansas. Do you want to get back to civilization? At that time, it would have been Kansas City, would have been the nearest thing. Mm-hmm. No problem. Right. The wagon will make it nothing.
You're good.
Yeah, it's so easy. 1 week out, all these red flags started coming up. The horrible rains, they can't get the wagons through. But no, they keep going. They keep going. This guy Hastings, and I didn't know this. I thought the Donner Party went up through the Rockies. That's what I remember from school. Yeah. And got stuck in a snowdrift. And no, they decided to take a shortcut below Salt Lake City, the trail split in two, and this guy Hastings, who never did it, he only did half of it and on a horse, not in a wagon. He wrote this fucking travel guide. The fact that
Travel guide.
he did
Folders.
the immigrants, immigrants, like not immigrants, guide to getting to California. He was like the fooder, I never know how to say it, the fooder of the time. Or the Rand McNally with, quote, his little tidbits. Well, these people, the Donner Party, the three families split off. The rest of the people go north, the real way, where the wagon trail has been, it's been established. There's no confusion. It ain't easy, but it's been done. Right. This place, this way, nobody's done it. Turns out it was 125 miles longer. Turns out you got to go across the Great Salt Basin, which nobody, including this lady, knew that when it heats up, when it gets hot, that salt basin turns into like gumbo. Their wheels sank like 2 feet in the ground. They had to abandon the wagons. It's just a shit show. But they make it. They make it through that.
It's a feel-good story.
It's a total feel-good story.
Cannibalism.
It's right up when I'm done with the ID channel and I'm tired of watching people get murdered by their siblings. I like to turn on something hard like this.
Where they eat each other.
They get across that. But now they've lost time. And the whole idea is you have 4 months to beat winter. Right. That's why you leave in summer and yada, yada, blah, blah. They still could have gone back at that point. It would have sucked. But you could have just go back across that dumb desert, salt desert thing, and go home. Nope, we're going forward. Of course, the women had no votes in any of this. And the women are dragging kids around, and it's miserable. Just, I can't even imagine. But this Hastings asshole left a note halfway through. Oh shit, I was wrong, turn back. What? Okay. Well,
no.
It's too late now. So then, long story short, but worth watching, they try to go across the Sierra Nevada mountain range. The snow came early. It was the worst winter ever of 1846 to 1847. Most snowfall ever still on record. They got halfway up the mountain and went, no, we can't. So they went halfway down the mountain to this lake. There was like a mountain lake. It's still there. It's become a tourist attraction. You can go see where they built 3 lean-tos, for the lack of a better word. And they, 80 of them were there. About half survived. Relief parties eventually came, but it took months and months and months. They ran out of food. They ate the cows, which ones were left. They ate everything. And then, this is why they became famous. They had to eat, their dead friends.
No!
Oh! Could you do it? It would have never been an issue for me because I would have been dead anyway because I have no circulation. I would have died of frozen. What is hypothermia? I would have died anyway.
I would have died of frozen.
I would have died of frozen.
Do you have any ranch?
But the most astonishing thing to me is that Hastings guy, after all was said and done, he was a lawyer in San Francisco. He ended up fighting for the Confederate Army in the Civil War, and then he decided to form a new colony in Brazil for American Confederate soldiers and like regroup down there like a psycho. But the fact that he was a lawyer in San Francisco, if I would have been one of the 40 that made it to California, I would have gotten on a horse all by myself and rode my little horse to taking the old town road, and I would have killed that asshole. Yeah. I'm shocked nobody did. You're full of shit. Your book was a lie. You never even did it, and you killed 40 people because of it.
He's the original Q.
He is the original Q. He led him down a bad road.
Yep. Bad times.
Very bad road.
Very bad.
Okay, that's all of my updates. But guess what? It's not that hard. It's a great show.
It's a great show. Yeah.
It was really. It's that guy. You know what it is? It's Rick Burns.
It's black and white.
Is that? It is black and white, which means it's hard.
Yeah.
No subtitles though. That's always my brother-in-law sings. I can't watch subtitles, Kathleen. I can't do it. I go, well, Matt, you don't have to. But Narcos doesn't seem right when in English.
No, it doesn't. You have to read that show.
You have to just read it. Yeah.
You gotta read the show.
When he's screaming, I don't know.
But it's also in color.
Narcos is in color, yes. All my little shows, the drug lord shows.
Oh, my drug lord.
This is crazy. I don't know where I found this online, but I've never seen anything like it. We're going to put it in the show notes. Paddles, mark this one down. What was supposed to be a European-inspired haven in the Middle East is now littered with abandoned construction materials, making it a proper ghost town. Okay, that sounds normal until you see what the fuck this is. Haunting photos reveal a massive abandoned town of Disney-esque castles.
Wow.
There's over 700 of them.
What?
Yes,
Oh my God.
but they're identical, which makes it even crazier because it looks like a village that your eyes are, a village of the same castles, of boom, 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 boom. What was supposed to be a luxurious urban development for wealthy foreigners has become an eerie, half-finished ghost town in Turkey. I don't know anyone that's been to Turkey minus Lewis Black. Paddles went a long time ago for a work thing, right?
Yeah, very long.
Lewis loved it because he was he said, what's the biggest city there? Istanbul. He loved it because he said it's like Christian, it's Arab, it's the meeting of the cultures, but the buildings are like so crazy and there are all kinds of types of buildings. And he loved it, and Lou's a foodie, so the food must have been good too.
You gotta eat with your hands, though.
I didn't ask because he'll talk too long about that. How was the food? And then I'll have to hear about every meal he ate in Turkey, so I didn't ask.
10 years ago.
Over the past several centuries, European monarchies' power and influence over their respective countries' politics may have dwindled, but their stately chateaux, castles, and palaces have endured. There's something about the dwellings' undeniable extravagance and opulence that makes them utterly timeless, and perhaps that's what led the Yurdelin brothers, Turkish real estate entrepreneurs, to build a sprawling village dubbed Burj al-Babas, complete with 732 mini castles near the Black Sea. Wait till you see the picture of this. And I don't understand why homeless people aren't there. I mean, if the babushkas of Chernobyl can live in those huts with no actual heat or air conditioning or water, you could certainly live in one of these. Like, if you're homeless, you stumbled upon this place.
Here's a baby castle.
It's a baby castle and it's free.
It's great.
I don't see anybody running you out either. Doesn't sound like it. After all, it made sense. Rich foreigners, uninterested in the south of France or the northeastern tip of Spain, could enjoy the Mediterranean climate on Gothic-style rooftop terraces overlooking the lush Turkish forest. Not to mention the project's developers, Surat Group, run by the brothers and their partner, somebody Yimeles, chose the spot for the little kingdom carefully. In the Roman spa town of Mudurnu, which is well known and well loved for its hot springs and healing waters. Each villa would boast underfloor heating. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
I stayed in somebody's house that had that. When you get out of a shower to have a hot foot, who knew? I would never even think of shit like that. I'm like, rich people think of everything.
It's magical.
Yeah, just to have hot tile in the winter, it's just great. Underfloor heating and jacuzzis on every level, further enforcing the idea of European luxury in the Middle East. Then Turkey's economy came to a grinding stop due to a failed political coup, terrorist attacks, and of course the pandemic, and the developers were forced to declare bankruptcy. Plus, investors and buyers pulled their money out of the $200 million project, which didn't help the Surat Group's homes of rebounding, and the former manor-dotted valley became a neighborhood of empty, half-finished shells. From afar, the gray roof neighborhood looks like something out of a Disney movie, perhaps Beauty and the Beast. But upon closer inspection, Burj al-Babas boasts an eerie post-apocalyptic feel with rows of partially completed castles, patchy landscaping, and zero signs of life. The empty village is chilling, to say the least, like a sparkling city ravaged by the war. It consists of more than 700 mini castles, half which had already been sold by 2019. After a series of unfortunate events, Turkey's economy dried up. And what happened? Do you get your money back? Probably just got screwed.
If they're bankrupt, yeah.
If they went bankrupt and then nobody's gonna back that, with ornate Gothic-inspired details, including flying buttresses, pointed arches, and ribbed vaulting, the nearly identical castles line the winding roads, and that's it too. The road is a winding. I want to go on TikTok. I'm gonna see if anybody there has to be kids that, what they call this, something like urban adventuring or some shit, but they do it. They go to these abandoned places. They're sneaking into
Like
Chernobyl
yeah.
and Fugasaki, places they're not supposed to be. I'm not encouraging it, but I'm sure somebody's already done it. So
Take your Dogecoin.
will I watch it? Yes, I will. I want to see it on film. Like, anyway, hardly any of the gardens made it to landscaping phase of the project, giving the neighborhood a cold post-war feel. The project's developers chose a massive base at every cut. Yeah. So there you go. We'll put it in the show notes. It's the craziest. Now I want to go there just to see that. But I'm not going to Turkey right now. I'm going to Reno.
I'm going to Reno.
Reno in July. That's what I know for sure. This is freakish. I don't know how I feel about this. And what's crazy is I've been here and I don't know why. I think it was with my sister and her husband and kids and my parents. We went to Colorado a couple years ago. But, because I wouldn't have done a show here, I don't think. The mountain hamlet of Crested Butte, Colorado covers less than a square mile. At an elevation of 9,000 feet, it is taller than it is wide. So when a Chicago-based billionaire began to quietly buy up its historic buildings, residents took note. So this billionaire guy, he's the same guy who owns the Dodgers, by the way. I'm not going to go through it. It's too boring. But he's buying basically the whole town.
Crested Butte?
Yes.
Wow.
And then, the locals get... Here's the problem. I feel like this is happening a lot. Because my next story is about Mark Zuckerberg. And I'm not going to go into every detail, but him and his wife just bought another 350 acres of Kauai, the Hawaiian island, which puts him at over 600 acres. I feel like now these super, uber rich... There's a word for them besides uber rich. They're not oligarchs, but kind of. You just hope, as a normal person, somebody comes, some rich asshole comes and buys your whole town, and you basically get a king. And you hope, do you get a good king or a bad king? Do you get a nice king or a mean king? And I don't know that we should allow that. Like, I know in Switzerland to buy stuff, at least this is what I think. I was told, I haven't Googled it, you have to have some sort of Swiss heritage to buy something in Switzerland. So that may not be true anymore, but like when I was 25, because my friend Susie was German and her and her husband moved to Switzerland, but he was Swiss and all this shit. I just don't know. I mean, yeah, it's America, but I want some rules. Like, you're just gonna let this guy who bought the Dodgers, somebody made a comment that he was gonna buy this one building, but he didn't like the parking, the fees for the parking in the parking garage. And he's like, I mean, it's not even close to what he pays the center fielder for the Dodgers. Like, okay, well, we can't start doing that, right? I mean, he's not gonna listen. You can do it all you want. But then the next article that backed this shit up, Mark Zuckerberg spent $53 million on 600 acres of beachfront land, despite million-person petition calling for a ban of his colonization of Paradise Island. I mean, I guess if he doesn't buy it, someone will. That's one way to look at it. I'm very torn on the subject of kingship. That's what I've called it, kingship. And it is Mark.
Well, it says a multi-billionaire, otherwise known as a money spinner.
A money spinner. They call multi-billionaires money spinners?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm a money spinner. Come on, I got my Dogecoin. Boy, I got my Robinhood app. I'm all over it.
What?
I got my Coinbase app. I love them all. I love to check. It gets me so excited. See, it'll be different right now. This is the other thing that addicts love. Doesn't matter what it never closes. If I can't sleep, I wake up and check my Dogecoin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. God, what happened to fun, people? Anyway, and I don't like Zuckerberg to begin with. And, he's not fun.
No.
I don't know about his wife, but he's just some sort of robot person who doesn't seem to have feelings, and everything is an analysis and very analytical. And they doubled the size of their estate. 600-acre plot for $53 million. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be a limit.
I think so.
He began buying up chunks of the island in September 2014, added the additional land on March 19th. It's the fourth of the largest Hawaiian islands and home to 67,000 people. The North Shore land, which includes a spectacular Larson's Beach, was bought from a non-profit organization established by a local family whose roots, the paper reported, go back to the days of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Abner and Lucy Wilcock, a missionary couple, arrived from Connecticut in 1837 when Hawaii was still a monarchy. The monarchy would remain until 1895 when the territory was annexed by the U.S. The Wilcoxes ran a school which would pass down through the generations. In 1975, the Waioli Corporation, not to be confused with Alioli, and the trustees sold part of their property to the Zuckerberg Chan family. That's his wife. They operate...
His wife is 4chan.
She's 4chan? Is that the thing from my thing? Yeah, that's the thing from the 4chan.
She's 4chan.
It's from the Q. It's from the Q thing, right? And he says, mindful of previous criticism, the people there don't want this guy doing this. They will also keep the current tenant, Paradise Ranch, which is like a not-for-profit good place. It does good things.
Isn't that nice of them?
We're committed to honoring the current ranching lease to Paradise Ranch. No, we won't. No. How many times do we have to do this to know that he's a bad king? And the bad king will lie to you. And the bad king will say whatever he needs to say to get what he wants, and then the bad king will go, yeah! We've seen it in every cartoon. Yeah! Like the cat. Did you see my video of the cat in the woods by my house attacking the fox? It actually did this. The cat actually went, just like in the cartoons, like, holy shit, he jumped, and both paws were spread, his front paws with his claws out. It's fascinating. Great video.
Yeah, great.
Over 30,000 views. I don't want to brag. Zuckerberg and Chan, they're worth $117 billion. They bought their first 337-acre chunk of the island in September. We know that. Purchasing the Kahuani Plantation from California investment firm Falco Partners, the couple who also own properties in San Francisco, Palo Alto, and Lake Tahoe. And then they bought 384 acres from the late Hawaii auto dealer James Flugler. In 2018, they bought more, meaning their land holdings total nearly 750 acres. His entities also acquired titles to dozens of smaller lots within the parcels that were known as the Kulina lands. Land granted to Kanakamali tenant farmers between 1850 and 1855. He was accused by some of trying to force the tenant farmers off their historic plots. In 2017, he apologized to the local newspaper, explaining that he was abandoning his quiet title actions and would work together with the community on a new approach. Bullshit.
Fuck you.
Fuck you is right. I don't know. The non-for-profit says they're fine with it, but that's what they're going to say if they're done. They're just going to go.
Feelings to care about the non-profit.
And I've never been to Kauai. I've always wanted to go. I've been to other the Hawaiian Islands, but I don't know. What do we feel about this, people? Is it America? Can you just... I mean, Ted Turner owns like fucking half of Montana, and...
But he's a philanthropist.
He's a good king.
Yeah.
But I don't know, do we want kings? Like, should people be able to do that? Don't call me a communist. Don't call me a socialist.
Commie. You commie.
I think it's funny when people do. What are you, a communist? Come on. Putin isn't even a communist. There aren't any communists anymore. Even the ones who used to say they were aren't. This story, we have a lot of travel in this episode. A lot of history. This is so sad. He became known as Italy's Robinson Crusoe. I've seen shows on this guy. After spending more than 30 years as the only resident of an idyllic island off the coast of Sardinia. I've seen this guy. They featured him on CNN. It was crazy. But Mauro Morandi is bidding farewell to his tiny hut on the Isle of Budel after local authorities repeatedly threatened him with eviction. How much of a dick do you have to be?
Yeah.
He's 81. The 81-year-old who's been living on the island since 1989.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's when I started comedy. That's how long ago that was. Seems like 8 lifetimes ago. Announced his departure in a message on his Facebook page on Sunday. "I'm going to leave," he wrote, adding that he hoped Budel would be safeguarded as I have done for 32 years. He also said he was really pissed off about the situation yeah, you can't relocate this man. He's feral at this point.
Right.
He isn't, I mean, you can't. It's so mean.
He's feral.
He is feral. He's living out. You got to be a special kind of. I mean, I would like to think I could do it, but as much as I don't like the general public sometimes, is as much as I do miss them when they're not there. The former teacher ended up on the stunning pink atoll while attempting to sail from Italy to Polynesia. He's previously told how he was instantly mesmerized by the place and decided to stay, taking over from the island's former caretaker a short time after arriving. However, the caretaker role became defunct when La Madalena's National Park took over ownership of Boudel in 2015. He has spent years wrangling with the officials who says he has no legal right to be there, and now he's fighting against plans to restyle his home into an environmental observatory. So they want to take his little hut. You know, I'm ready to do all that I can all I can to stay here, even if that means they'll have to drag me away, he said. You know, they got to get a petition going over there or something. Let the guy stay. And just make him sign a paper and say we're not responsible for you. Because there's an island in Ireland when they made them all leave in 1952 about, now I can't think, it's off. The Blasket Islands. And I've been there. And there was this little community, but the government said, you know, when there's hurricanes, especially in the Atlantic, we got to go get them, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's not safe. That's kind of for them to decide.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the government then must go look, because they'd have to take food out to him. I don't know what the Italian government is doing for this man, but if you feel responsible for him, make him sign papers. He's 81, for God's sakes.
Right.
Make him sign a bunch of legal shit saying, I'm on my own. I don't require anything. I don't expect anything. Let the little man live out there.
Yeah.
People are so mean. And then they're like, well, legally we have responsibility. How much longer is the guy going to live?
He has a passport.
Yeah.
Actually, he probably doesn't have a passport.
We're not going to leave with this one. I have a really good Ponzi scheme thing, but that'll be for the next one.
Something upbeat.
Okay. I'm going to give you something upbeat.
Great.
And you know what?
What?
This is about my state. Very excited. Welcome, white bison.
Nice.
What do the Indians say? The American Indians, they say it's good luck. Visitors to Dogwood Canyon Nature Park in Missouri Ozark Mountains now have a chance to spot a rare white American bison. The new addition joined the park as the park's herd of 25 earlier this year and was named Takoda. I remember when Ron White got so drunk one night. We were sitting around and he just kept going like this. I go, what are you doing? He goes, from the movie, Tatonka, Tatonka, Tatonka. I'm like, all right, junkie, it's time to go to bed. Dances with Wolves. What are we quoting? Movies from 70 years ago. Anyway, the new Takoda, a Sioux word meaning friend to everyone. Visitors of Dogwood Canyon Nature Park can see Takoda in the canyon, and park officials, I don't know. Why am I missing a page here? Anyway, this is in southern Missouri, also like right north Arkansas. This place is not the easiest place to get to, but if you happen to be in Branson, golfing or in watching those shows, I wouldn't recommend them. But if you are down there, this is all owned by Johnny Morris, who is the owner of the Bass Pro Shop, one of my favorite places on earth. And Johnny Morris, if you want to talk about a king, good king.
Good king, yeah.
He has bought so much land in the Ozarks that was doing nothing, and he's done nothing but make it better.
Right.
Especially if you have kids, to be able to go to these places, even as an adult, I like everything about what this guy does. He's built this giant learning aquarium deal in Springfield, Missouri, and he's just a wonderful dude. Park officials hope the striking addition will provide new opportunities to educate the public on the unique history of the American bison. See, I used to call him buffalo, and it's not the same, apparently. And the delicate balance of conservation that saved the species from near extinction. According to one traditional Native American teaching spanning thousands of years, the white bison is a sacred animal. Once an exceptionally rare occurrence, the birth of the white bison promotes prayerful communication between indigenous people and the Great Spirit, and was also a sign of peace and good fortune. Today, Though still rare, the phenomenon is more common due to crossbreeding with cattle as a result of attempts by ranchers to save the species from its extinction after original populations plummeted between 1830 and 1900. American bison roamed the plains of North America, spanning from Mexico to Canada. In the 20th century, poor wildlife management practices, including market hunting, led to dramatic declines. Experts estimate that by 1900, only a few hundred bison remain. Thanks to intentional efforts led by conservation leaders in the 20th century, the bison remains an iconic symbol of America today. What a remarkable, welcoming and remarkable, then there's a quote, blah, 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 blah. It's 15 miles, this Dogwood Canyon Nature Park is 15 miles west of Branson in Lampe, Missouri. I can honestly say I've never heard of Lampe. And I'm from here. And offers a variety of ways that people of all ages and abilities to connect with nature year-round. They offer walking and bike pathing, horse riding excursions, fly fishing, rainbow trout, in addition to 2 popular wildlife tram tour and narrated ride through a canyon and past waterfalls and handcrafted stone bridges that crosses into the pastures of Arkansas. We don't stay long. We cross into Arkansas. Don't you Arkansasians get an ideal? I know you're going to attack us. That's one of my old jokes. I just called back myself. Rocky Mountain elk and white-tailed deer. Seasonally themed educational programs that offered inside the Nature Conservatory Center, an interactive learning facility that connects into a treehouse built by Animal Planet's Treehouse Masters. The park is home to Dogwood Canyon Mill, a fully functioning restored grist mill that pays homage to the rich milling heritage of the Ozarks, and a museum featuring Native American and Civil War artifacts. 10,000 acres straddling the Missouri-Arkansas border. But anyway, here he is. Here's a little shout out. Today, the park serves as a thriving habitat for native flora and fauna thanks to decades of dedicated restoration efforts led by Johnny Morris, Bass Pro Shop founder and renowned conservationist. The park is owned and operated by the not-for-profit Johnny Morris Wonders of Wildlife Foundation to ensure the public can enjoy the historically and ecologically significant grounds for generations to come. So I just think that's great. And there was something else, I read about. I think it's in this one because I didn't know this. I always just called them buffalo.
Yeah.
I know they're the Ted Turner restaurants. Does he call it bison?
Bison burger.
Bison burger. Mm-hmm. Right. There's one in Denver. I've eaten it. I've eaten the bison. It's fine.
Yeah, they're good.
Fine.
Yeah. Not as fatty as beef.
Right, but they're not as
delicious.
They're not as delicious. No. Where are buffalo from?
Buffalo.
Like Africa? Africa and Asia. Mm-hmm. And the bison is indigenous to North America. And Europe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not closely related.
They're not?
No.
They look related.
Nationalzoo.edu. Both bison and buffalo are in the Bovidae family.
The Bovidae family. Well, don't they sound French? I wonder if they own a Picasso. Do you have a Spanish painter? Do you own a Manet? How about a French painter? The Bovidae. The Bovidae family. They mean bovine, I suppose. Some sort of cattle origin. All right, termites. I'm going to have a little update. Okay, here's what you guys... All right, 2 things. Because we're going to talk about this next week. You have to go watch The Mayor of Easttown. Watch.
You have to go watch.
What did I say, watch?
Watch.
Sometimes the Midwest, when I'm tired. Do you guys watch CNN Headline News in the morning? My friend Robin Mead, because she's from Ohio. I love it when she'll go, the pandemic. It's such a Midwest pronunciation. Pan. Oh my God, Kathleen, how do you feel about the pandemic? And it's usually in her first hour because she's probably not 100% awake. Yeah. And it's just how you talk when you're not really. Watch. Anyway, you guys got to go watch. Please, go watch. The Mayor of Easttown was starring Kate Winslet, and it's based in Pennsylvania, and her accent, we're going to talk about her accent in depth. One of my sister-in-laws is from Philly, so I'm familiar with the accent, and I work all over Pennsylvania. You could actually spend, as a comedian, probably 3 months of your life just working in Pennsylvania. Wow. Allentown, York, Philly, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg. Like, you could just, and they all do their own, they all have their own theater, like a 1,500 seater, and they don't, I never say it right, Wilkes-Barre or is it Wilkes Barre or Barre? It's confusing to me. And I've been there 100 times, and I like that theater too. It's just, you could just do Philly. I mean, Pennsylvania, just go, it's huge. People forget how, I do. I forget how huge it is till I'm in a car driving.
Where you will be working.
Oh, Parks Casino, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. See?
Home of who? The baby Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus. What have we learned? Jesus doesn't like Tim Tebow. Anyway, go watch that because we're going to talk about that accent. Because everything about it, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say what I think of it. You guys watch it. And I also am going to save you some time. I watched The Father, the movie that Anthony Hopkins is, because I love Anthony Hopkins and I love Olivia Colman, because I watched her in that really obscure British Broadchurch, I think it was called, some British detective show, and then she ended up in that wackadoodle thing about the crazy queen, and that's what she won the Academy Award for. I hadn't even seen that. And the Academy Awards were on it, and I'm like, that's my lady from my show. Why did she get best? I mean, she showed, I loved her, but she just seems so normal, like everything about her. But so she plays his daughter. So I was like, okay, it's about an old man, her father, who's developing and then completely gone into dementia. And here's all I'm going to say to the director or writer or whomever. I, as the viewer, should not be more confused than the person with dementia. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
The whole movie, I was like, what the fuck's happening now? Well, what happened to the other husband? Well, what? Is he dreaming this? Is he thinking this? And I get it. If the idea is to make me feel like someone who has dementia, then they succeeded. But that should be known, because I think you can do both. I think you can let me experience the feelings of dementia and the perspective of dementia without also making it where I don't have any idea what's going on in this movie anymore. Right. I mean,
more wine.
And Anthony Hopkins was great. I mean, there's no question about it. But that's a movie where I'm gonna have Lewis watch it and then explain it to me. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of artsy things that Lou will say, well, first he'll get mad that I made him watch it. Like, things aren't depressing enough. Jesus, what were you thinking? God damn it. But he'll tell me what I was supposed to get or not get. He'll explain it to me. He can explain hard things and go, this is what they were trying to do. And then I go, oh. And then we just don't talk about it anymore. All right, termites, that's all we got. Thanks for listening as always. Subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. Shout
out to all you termites. Hope everybody's all vaccinated. I am. It's very exciting. Time to get out there and let's get rumbling. Let's get going.
Tour dates are up.
Very exciting.
Tour dates are up.
Tour dates are up, and they're not even all up.
No.
It's just what I've posted. Well, I didn't, but the people do. The people, the children have posted on the website. There's a shitload more coming, but you can't announce things till they come, quote, on sale. Right. But like secretly, I know they're gonna happen, but I can't say that. I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Actually, one is being announced this week.
One's being announced? Oh, the Mirage! August 6th. Come on, people. I am so excited to go back to Las Vegas. Probably a Friday. Is it a Friday? Uh-huh. Friday night.
Uh-huh. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
You
gotta stay up.
I know. Time doesn't matter in Vegas. Yeah. And, you know, when I used to do the clubs, there was always an 8 and 10 show, so it doesn't bother me. But it is weird to be getting ready for work at 8. Yeah. I'm like, I should be at work. This is weird. But that is such a fun gig, and I owe 2 backstage passes to a bartender Carrot Top was with. Nice. He called my phone. He always texts. He doesn't call. And I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you at? He's either in Orlando or Vegas, and he's like, oh, I'm so glad you picked up because I'm at this fancy restaurant bar that I like to go to, and the bartender doesn't believe I know you. And he goes, we just talked to her. I go, all right, put her on. It's some girl named Emily. She was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, Emily, if you get yourself to the show, you can come backstage at the Mirage because they give me way too much food and drink. There's always this giant thing of cheese, and boy, is it good. But I mean, who could possibly eat that much fucking cheese? That's what's great about casinos, though. It's always excess, and no one cares, and everybody's nice about it, and everybody's happy. So, anyway, that will be posted soon. And the Ryman in Nashville, which there's so many, I've never done it, and I'm so excited. I've been to shows there. That's what's even weird. I'm like, I saw Anita Baker there. That was probably the best one I've seen because it's like a church. And then, yeah.
And she's an angel.
And Anita Baker is an angel, and she sings like an angel. And anyway, that's in September. And that's a lot of seats, so go buy tickets because I need to sell that out. Or you know who they're going to give it to next time? Vince Gill. No, I did charity events with him. He's a super nice man. You should go listen to Lewis's joke about Vince Gill and Amy Grant because that's the charity event that I made Lewis attend, and he had to follow them.
Oh, God.
And he's like, what am I supposed to do? You put me in front of the 2 greatest Christians to ever walk earth? I go, say that on stage so people will know. And then he goes, oh, this is a good idea. Here's the greatest Christians that are talented and beautiful, and they flew out of here on the wings of doves. And now let's bring up the aging Jewish prick. And the whole crowd laughed their ass off. Everybody knows. So anyway, help me sell out the Ryman so they don't give it to Vince and Amy. They have it the whole month of December. Yeah, you know what though? They shouldn't even let comedians in. I mean, it's country music's mecca of all Mecca's church, the mother church. Like they shouldn't even let us in. But somehow I snuck in on a Saturday night.
Maybe you can get a December date singing Christmas carols.
Yeah, maybe if I pitch my singing after 70,000 years of smoking, I'm an alto.
Totally.
Come on, I can sing Christmas stuff, right? I don't know the religious Christmas stuff though, so I probably wouldn't.
You can do sing-alongs.
I can only do the fun ones. All right, termites. Remember, get your kids some of this. I didn't see the blue syrup. It's real. It exists. As a kid, how jacked up would you be?
When does that expire?
When does this expire?
Yeah, probably 10 years.
Oh.
Shelf life.
Never.
Exactly.
No. Halloween, 2021.
Oh, they lie.
My grandpa's birthday. Born in 1904, so I can't do that math. He'd be 117. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
All right, termites. You be good. That's the Ritz crackers.
Wow.
I know I don't want them. I'll throw them. I don't want to fuck up the birds, though. That's too hot. It'll freak them out. Then they'll all be, like, searching for water. They won't be able to... God. I would, there's a robin building a nest on my front porch up in the cedar thing. And clearly this mom is drunk because I've never seen such a shitty nest. And last year there was a nest built on the opposite side that was perfect. I mean, perfect. Like, take it off a ladder after she left, the kids left, and I wanted to get rid of it. And it was like an engineer did it. This nest, whoo, shit, mama drunk. There's just shit falling out of it. She flies in all like drunk flying with more stuff in her and throws it in. And
She dove at me when I came here.
when you come over here, yeah, anybody that comes over, she dives bombs from the porch.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it to me.
She's an asshole.
Because she knows I can kick her out. I'm the landlord. I'm the lord of the land. I'm the king. I'm the king of this estate. All right, termites. That's all I got. We'll see you guys next week. That's it. Night, night, termites.